Tonight on SmackDown Live AfterBuzz, is Dolph Ziggler really worthy of #1 contender? American Alpha Day. Ow. Oh, God, I pulled an Eva Marie. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Are you all right?
Ow, that hurt. I don't know how it happened. I was just entering the show, and I just felt some pain.
When you look good doing it, that's what happens.
So you don't want to host the show? Is that what this is?
Well, I'm gonna muscle through it because we are live on AfterBuzzTV.com, the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page. You are liking, subscribing, telling your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz as we break down SmackDown Live. Welcome everybody. I'm Christian Rosenberg. Twitter @RealRosenberg, Instagram @TheRealRosenberg, T-shirts ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. Miss Christy Olson is here with me at Christy Reports. Hello, my dear.
Konnichiwa.
Whoa.
We're getting
Trying to
more
make up for last
cultured
week.
here this week.
Whoa.
And Scott, who last night, or I guess yesterday, was his birthday, and I guess he celebrated so hard that he had car trouble today.
Yeah, right.
Not able to be here, but on the snap of my fingers, last minute, so kind to jump in. You can watch him on the pay-per-view, WWE pay-per-view AfterBuzz is at Steve Kaufmann. It's Steve Kaufmann.
Thank you guys so much. And I totally did not sabotage Scott Narver's car so I could be here.
I hope not. And
That is not what I did. And you guys can find me on Twitter
Mystery
@Steve Kaufmann. That's KAUFMANN.
and chat roll, I'm going to try my best to continue with the show. I know you guys are worried about my health. I appreciate. I feel like I may have been a rotator cuff. I don't know, but I'm gonna muscle through. I told the trainers to stay in production.
There are like 6 of them over there.
Yeah, they're all here waiting. And engineering us tonight at the Jimbo Slice. Jimbo's in the booth.
Jimbo!
What up, y'all?
Hey.
What up?
Howdy.
And so, SmackDown tonight, I'm just kind of like relieved because this was so much better than last week. I know some people felt last week's SmackDown was good. I wasn't too big of a fan of it. And tonight, overall tonight, I wish is what we had last week because we got stories developing. We have some more development in certain characters, which we'll get into. A lot of great action tonight. Mm-hmm. So I really felt top to bottom, this SmackDown was excellent.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go so far as to say it made up for last week. As in, it was good enough for this week and last week.
Can I defend last week?
You certainly can. Go for it.
You can't. I mean, you're going to be
sure
wrong,
fans
but you
would
can.
No, but I thought last week they had an unenviable task because Raw gets to stay Raw.
Right.
Raw gets to stay the 3-hour behemoth that's on Monday nights, and if anything, it just like ditches a lot of people to become what it are. Because Raw is good because they got to send a bunch of people to SmackDown. SmackDown, their very first episode was a draft that included everybody, and then the week after that, they then have to introduce like the fallout of a pay-per-view and be the first show, and be the very first show back. So I think, given that, they did a great job last week. This week, they get to finally delve into their brand new characters. We get to see Heath Slater. We get to see Eva Marie. We get to see
A brand new Dolph Ziggler.
Yes, we actually get to like this week was great, but so was last week. Is all I'm saying.
Well, let's start with this week. So we start backstage. We are watching a clip from Raw when Randy Orton snuck onto Raw, RKO Lesnar. You're watching Shane, Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton watching it. Shane saying there will be repercussions from this. You're not supposed to do that. But it was pretty awesome. It's kind of cool that you did that. But now Lesnar might come here, and we can't have that. So we have 90 local talents that are pretending to be security guards for you.
Yes, I love when those guys get a shot.
Or are they security guards pretending to be local talent?
Or maybe that.
They could actually be
touche.
security guard with guard cards.
They could. They could.
Do you need a guard card
Well,
in
they
Nashville?
didn't end up doing a very good job, but I assume we'll get there.
So Orton was like, I don't need them. No, like you saw on Raw, all it takes is one RKO. And he leaves. Shane and Daniel Bryan continue walking. They're then interrupted by The Miz. And Miz tells him that he's their Jason Bourne, and he doesn't like the way he's been treated. And he doesn't like how Daniel Bryan was angry that he drafted him. Then Ambrose, no, I wanted to draft the Intercontinental Championship. I got stuck having to have you come with it.
I like that.
So tonight we have a triple threat match to determine the number one contender for the Intercontinental title between Baron Corbin, Kalisto, and Rocky's opponent Apollo Creed.
I'm
like stoked. He's coming out of retirement.
Yes,
That's great.
Oh, we love you, Daniel Bryan.
But if Apollo Creed only exists in that fictional universe, then he's definitely dead.
Oh, that's right.
That's Ivan Drago.
You think he meant Apollo Crews?
No, I think he meant the corpse of Apollo Creed. I think he meant.
Did he mean like the new Creed that came out last year with Michael B. Jordan?
Maybe he meant Michael B. Jordan Creed.
Did he mean the band Creed?
We're home, fly home. That he would sing him to death.
I mean, that guy went legit crazy.
That's Creed.
So.
Scott Stapp. Yeah. That's right. Creed got mentioned on a WWE show outside of 2002. So Apollo Crews, Kalisto, and Corbin going to have a triple threat match for number one contender. They then keep walking, and then they find Dean Ambrose, and he's like, I'm going to go out to the ring and look for the number one contender. And he says it like that. Contender.
Because he's cool.
Because he's cool like that. So that then kicks off SmackDown with Ambrose in the ring, calling out Ziggler. Gives a brief bio of how he became the champion. Ziggler comes out. So we're kind of thinking, all right, here's kind of a little promo between the two. We've seen him before. It'll be good. We'll see what happens. But I am now very interested in this match. And we've seen these guys wrestle plenty of times over the last year. But the story with it, Ziggler talking about how he felt that the two of them were similar. And Ambrose was like, no, we're not. We're nothing alike. You're all show. I'm go. And Ziggler, I think this might have been the first time on WWE programming he admitted that he started as a male cheerleader.
That is pretty much a first.
Right. I don't think
it
he's
wasn't
done
like
that.
we didn't know.
Now it would have been even better if he admitted that he first started as a caddy.
They're never talking about that.
But they're never going to talk about that.
They're never
going to bring that up. Thank you.
It's all right if you forget about Kerwin White.
I'll Google it when we get home.
It didn't last long.
Please do. But then Ambrose mentioned, yeah, you're going to steal the show and I'm going to win. Because that's what always happens.
Oh, I love this.
And they kept going back and forth. And, Ziggler then showed anger and emotion.
He yelled.
Well, and he did. I mean,
he yelled.
I know, but the way you said it was like he yelled. He was really but it was legit. He yelled. He got really into it, which was great.
And this is a side of him that we have not seen for a really long time, if ever.
Yeah.
Yes. I think part of the problem with a guy like him who comes out there, and to be fair, is on TV every week, regardless of where he is on the card. Like he's not like Zack Ryder where he's not on TV, and we're like, man, we're upset he's not on TV. We're all upset they don't use Dolph Ziggler correctly. And part of that problem is he comes out and puts on a great match, and a great match is a great match, but it never looks like a fight. So you never actually get behind Dolph Ziggler or believe that Dolph Ziggler is like competing as much as he's putting on a show for you. Right. So we're finally getting that turn from him where he's gonna start fighting, if you will.
And then the promo ended great with Ambrose saying, like at SummerSlam, you're gonna find out that your real problem that you've had, not complaining that people have been mistreating you or not, booking you right or whatever. Your real problem is you're not as good as you think you are. And he walked away. And then all of a sudden the lights go on and Bray Wyatt shows up, which is an interesting twist.
I was real confused for like a sec.
Yeah. Wyatt shows up, Sister Abigail on Ziggler, and essentially challenges Ziggler to a match tonight where if Bray wins, he gets Dolph's spot at SummerSlam. So all of a sudden we have kicking off the show with a promo hyping up the main event for SmackDown. And then right in the midst of that, we get the main event tonight, which didn't have both guys involved in that initial promo. I loved it. I loved this segment.
Similar to last night.
Yeah.
Where you can, if you do it right, like the talk segment can build towards a thing you're interested in seeing. That they haven't done that for a long time. I was very excited. Also, Devil's Advocate. Would we have still been interested in, like, as interested and enthralled with Ziggler Ambrose if Wyatt never came out and that was the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they did a great job.
But
with
I like now with the extra twist of trying to throw Wyatt in the mix of it.
Right, and they needed some depth in this whole contendership thing. You can't just throw them out last week and have this kind of a tournament and then just be like, all right, so these are our two guys that are feuding and accept this, and this is for the belt and everything else. Like, we need Bray Wyatt in there. We need a couple more guys that I assume are going to get in there before SummerSlam so that you go, oh, it's not just about Dolph Ziggler. This is a roster that is strong on SmackDown, and we're going to continue to want to see what happens to this belt.
And along with all that, this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, you would know this better than me. I feel like this is the first time in all of Bray Wyatt, with all the crazy angles he's done and the promos he's done and the feuds he's had, this is the first time he's really talking about the title.
Yes.
And that's refreshing.
Because he's usually just talking about a whole bunch of crap you don't even know what
that's
he's
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
Like, he's like, no, I should be in contention for the title. You're right. You should be. Thanks for looking for it.
Yeah, like that. Actually,
Okay,
I've never
okay.
heard this from you. And if we went to your win-loss, you probably shouldn't be. But nobody
Yeah,
goes.
that's
Nobody
true.
goes to the win-loss.
Because Rock's lost more matches than he's won.
Yeah.
And how many times was he champ? A zillion.
I don't know. We'll know next time he comes out now that we have those little info bars on the side.
I know, right?
That was a cool little thing because they're doing a couple things on SmackDown different than Raw. The little sidebars. There's that camera that keeps panning along the side of the commentating table.
It's really cool.
That big crane, because it's pretty much a big crane that's hung over the audience.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. So like you have to set up a crane in like the lower bowl far out in the stadium to just kind of crane around like that. That's really cool. I love the Mattitude fact of Dolph Ziggler loves Mongolian barbecue.
Well, then that wasn't what it was, but we'll get to we got Mattitude facts now on those, which is great. Triple threat match, first match of the night: Kalisto versus Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews.
Not Consequences, Creed?
No,
You're not
he's
gonna
on
let
Raw.
DB live that down, are you?
Is he on Raw? All right.
Yeah, that guy's on Raw. A very fun-paced, fast match with the three of them. You kind of knew Baron Corbin wasn't going to win this match since it'd be against Miz, and that would be an awkward match because the crowd would be like, who should we boo less?
I mean, you'd think they'd hate Miz more because his girlfriend's hot. Or wife, sorry.
I would think I would like him more because I'm like,
No.
good for you.
No, because we
Yeah,
already...
right?
No,
That's
but
my opinion.
That works if it's Daniel Bryan and you already like Daniel Bryan, but if you already dislike Miz, like you're already predisposed to dislike Miz, and then you see that his wife is like incredibly hot, you would dislike him more. Let me know in the comment. Let me know in the chat.
I
think
still got faith in the WWE universe that they're gonna hate Baron Corbin more.
that said,
They're smart.
that said, that would be a terrible matchup because
Really would.
not only are they two heels, but they're two like really good heels in the sense that like everybody hates them.
Right.
Like the three of us were all at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, where it's like Bizarro World. Mm-hmm. Miz was the one guy who everyone was in unison, like, no, we don't like him.
Yep.
He was essentially meaning he was the only guy who got over how he was supposed to with that crowd.
And it's still working for him.
Yeah.
Cool. I like the finish to this match because Corbin had Kalisto up for a power bomb, in which then his back was turned to Crews. Crews drop kicks him, which led Kalisto to Hurricanrana Corbin out of the ring, and then Crews with a schoolboy on Kalisto to get the win. And I like that because you'll see a lot of heels win with a roll up, like grab the tights or things like that. Smaller guys might win with a roll up, get the big guy thrown off for a second, but you don't see bigger guys, good guys, tend to win with roll-ups, and I like that because it's also showing the quickness that Crews has along with his power and his agility. So I was cool with the finish. Everyone still looked strong when it was done by that, and Crews is the #1 contender, or so we think, because then all of a sudden Corbin started attacking Kalisto, then Crews started attacking Corbin, then Miz came in, attacked Crews, and then Corbin attacked Miz. Which is making me think, okay, yeah, Crews #1 contender, but no, we might make this a fatal four-way.
Yeah, all those guys might be in that. Might be in the match.
Yeah, again, they're trying to prove to us that there's more than this kind of one-sided storyline that they gave us last week.
And
I feel like they were trying to be like, guys, just hold on. It's cool. It's going to be all right.
I want to go on record.
AfterBuzz panel, just settle down. Here's all your contenders. Just chill.
I can't
No, give me one. And then I initially was very upset with a roll-up finish, but then the schmaz at the end kind of solidified it. Like, no, they're all equal. Mm-hmm. They're all equal to Miz and that title.
And by the way, the chat rules bring something up, and I don't remember seeing one. Do we get a vignette for Shelton Benjamin again?
Not this week.
We didn't get one this week. You would think they would keep doing that.
I'm really curious what that's about. Because are they gonna... Because if he was a definite for something like SummerSlam, you'd think they would vignette him all the way up to him facing someone at SummerSlam.
I don't know.
Is there a believe that? Did something happen?
I know. I was just gonna say the dirt sheet's got to get on this.
Did something happen between last week and this
There's
week?
something more to this story, but no.
Is Shelton Benjamin actually not signed with WWE and they just ran a package just
That's
to
what I
make?
speculated last
Maybe
week.
Shelton Benjamin was in Kalisto's mask.
I think we would have noticed.
Would we?
You know what's funny is I saw something on Twitter where it was like, "Oh yeah, everyone expected him to show up," and I'm like, "Who expected him to show up?"
I didn't expect him to show up.
I thought he was still doing great in Japan. Why would he come back?
Yeah.
And like this person was just like, "Oh yeah, we all knew Shelton Benjamin was coming back."
That's-
like, you're so full of it.
That is ridiculous.
There are people out there that are full of it. I certainly can be full of it at
Although,
times. I can admit that.
To be fair, in the history of Twitter, we could find one person who before last week said, "Dude, Shelton Benjamin, that's it."
Oh, I'm sure they existed.
Yeah, like one person on Twitter, you can find a post-dated tweet.
Well, let's get into the first of the two women's matches that did not happen tonight. Becky versus Eva Marie. Eva with the long, grand entrance, the voiceover. We're like, okay, here we go. You're one-on-one.
Debut.
With Becky Lynch. Not really debut. She's been there before.
Yeah, I know that, but they called it a debut.
The SmackDown Live
She
debut.
poses on the second rope to the huge roar of boos. She hops off and has a slight limp. And all of a sudden, ow. Ow. If we can get the Peter Griffin ow for that.
Oh, God.
I don't know if we can find it. I should have gave you a heads up, Jimbo. But that right, because that sums it up perfectly. And ref waves off the match. Match not happening. Trainer looking at Eva. Eva is helped to the back. I'll tell you what. If you follow the show on a regular basis, you know I'm not exactly a great fan of Eva Marie. However, I loved this.
Xbox Heat is still heat.
I mean,
Like,
here's the thing. When Vicky first came out, do we have it? Do we have? There it is. Yes. This is actually a transcript of what happened on SmackDown.
This is on WWE'S.
They showed this to Eva and was like,
YouTube.
"This is what we want you to do."
But this was good. I like that she... We're probably not going to do a prediction segment, so I'll bring it up here. In the event SmackDown gets this heralded women's championship, which should be the women's Universal Championship.
Daniel Bryan confirmed it in an interview. It is happening.
Then the Universal Women's Championship, although it could be a Divas Championship. Eva Marie needs to win it by doing the absolute least possible. So that everybody just like hates her. Like, why are you even here? So that when she actually gets in and wrestles, we hate her even more. Because we're like,
So
I can't even hate you because you can't wrestle. Like, you're okay. Like, it's John Cena heat.
Based on the fan reaction from tonight and how upset they were to not get wrestling, I think that would almost make people too angry. And to tell you the truth, I didn't care for this tonight either. I think that Eva has tried really, really hard and worked and trained hard with Brian Kendrick, and she took her time and went back down to NXT, and I think she improved greatly, and I would like to see what she can do in the ring, and I hope that this isn't something that just continues to happen. It's like, either let her speak or let her wrestle, or
well, let me
let
ask
her
you,
go be a model and do her thing.
Let me ask you this. You said you've seen her get better. Where? In the last year, she might have wrestled 5 times on TV.
But she did. She wrestled a few NXT matches.
Where they were not much better than originally. Now, I'm sure, obviously, she's been getting a lot more training
I think
off
she
camera.
improved greatly.
I saw her have a match with Carmella on Periscope. I'm kidding, I haven't, but like, I'm sure
me
she
tell
did a
you.
lot of house shows.
But
A very well-established WWE star told me earlier this week and said the only way you can get good at doing this stuff is being out there on camera doing it for the show.
You're absolutely
You can't
right.
practice at home. You can't practice in the ring. You can't practice in the mirror. You have to have doing it experience.
Yeah.
So they need to let her do it.
No, I agree. Like, that's the best way to get better. And what I was saying before Peter Griffin, I'm reminded, because he's so great, I'm reminded of Vicky Guerrero. Now, I know Vicky didn't wrestle, but when Vicky first was around for like the first, I don't know, several months, maybe even first year or so, everyone hated her. Not because she was a villain, but because, like, you have no business to have a microphone, you have no emotion, you are terrible, get off of our television, let someone else more deserving be there. And then they embraced that, found a way to make it work. Vicky improved over time with the experience. And then she got booed because you were a villain and we hated you because of what you were doing, not how you were doing it. They need to, I feel, doing this type of stuff with Eva, having a long intro, not letting her speak, not letting her wrestle. They're just delaying it, annoying the crowd more for the right reasons. And that can help propel her, so when she does wrestle, and hopefully is a little better, even, she doesn't have to turn into Charlotte. But, you know, be able to carry a one-on-one match for more than 7 minutes. When you do that, then people will start reacting because you're a villain, not because I can't stand you. And I think they're making the right steps to get to that point. So I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm looking forward to what they plan on doing with Eva.
Absolutely. And I just one more thing. I would like to just remind everyone that Eva never got the chance to train in the first place. She never went to NXT. They put her on the road immediately with Total Divas. Like weeks after she was signed, she never got the chance to do that. So she is basically just starting out now. So I get that we've got to try some things, but you know, let's give her a chance.
To have your back, Christy, I would say she has definitely improved with her gear and her look and her entrance, which are huge in wrestling.
Yes.
Right.
So she might not have worked it all out as far as like getting in the ring and being able to carry a match or work well with another superstar, but the fact that she has a badass robe and a look and like is so different from all the other women wrestlers, she's getting it, and it'll just come with time.
And,
go ahead.
they're probably going to listen to us and like have her have an 8-minute match next week.
Cool.
Just to mess with us.
All right. Speaking of getting it, apparently we have to get to Christy's Believe That, because apparently it has to do with women this week. Therefore, duck and cover, I'm going to put my arm in a sling because it still hurts. It's time for Believe That. Oh. Oh, they knew my arm was hurt, and they wouldn't have fire all around it. Thanks. Awesome.
You didn't buy my sound effects?
No, I did not. What do we got this week?
Oh, well, guys, we already have mentioned maybe the return of a Divas title tonight, and we talked a little bit about how the SmackDown women's division last week maybe could use a little more strengthening, right? So, will two former Divas be returning to SmackDown? There's been a lot of talk over the last few months about guys coming back. We somehow seem to act like, you know, the ladies have been put out to pasture once they leave WWE. Not so. Reportedly, Melina is very, very close. She's almost ready to sign a contract, and she is quite possibly bringing Victoria, aka Eva Marie Verone, along with her. Both ladies have teased this on Twitter, and it definitely makes sense. Gentlemen, do you believe in the return of Melina and Victoria?
Steve, you want to go first on this one?
I'll go first.
Jimbo, go
Thank
ahead.
you, Jimbo.
It's Lisa, not Eva.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's
I
one.
She's
got
got
Eva
Eva
on
on the
the
brain.
brain.
Exactly.
Wait, Jimbo, we're like this.
I believe that Victoria would come back, but not Melina. Just because I've heard she's kind of a pain backstage, and I don't know if they've worked through her kinks, and I really haven't seen her much on the indies, but I've always see Victoria out and about and doing things with her restaurant and like hanging out at indie shows and always super cool with fans, and I definitely would think that WWE would bring her back before someone that might cause issues backstage.
Steve?
I'm the same. I think no on Melina. Just Just because from what I've heard, and granted, we're all just a bunch of people who hear stuff. Like,
No, that's true.
I've heard whether it was on her or other people's reaction to, or how other people have treated Melina, that she was, for better or worse, like something they wouldn't want back. Victoria, I'd say yeah.
Interesting.
I can say Melina is a friend of mine. I know I'm kind of name dropping a little bit there, which is weird.
That's okay. I'll pick it up.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I was actually going to say, like, couldn't you just text her?
I have her number on my phone when I can.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. That said, she's just recently, probably within the last 6 months, started really appearing at wrestling shows. She hasn't really done any of that period. She stayed away from that for a long time. I think she's starting to wrestle again from what I've heard. That said, not just like rumors as far as what her attitude might have been backstage, because who knows what those... But when you hear lots of different former wrestlers, when they do live shoot interviews, and they only talk about her attitude, I don't see there being... And I love Melina. I don't see there being any way she ever goes back to WWE as a regular performer. Victoria, absolutely. Now, her big thing might be the age factor, because Victoria, believe it or not, is over 40.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she could still kick everyone's ass and is still incredibly beautiful. And still, like you were saying, Steve, still goes to other indie events, still wrestles all over the place. So she could definitely still go there, help put someone over if needed, because Victoria belongs in the Hall of Fame. Hence, there was a poster out around
Tonight.
ringside for that too. So I'm gonna say Victoria. I can definitely see Melina. No way.
I could see them bringing her specifically into SmackDown to work with everyone that's there.
Yeah, they need a vet.
They need
a
someone
female
like
vet.
her to pair against Eva, so that she can eventually carry a 8-minute match or a 7-minute match.
Right. And while we're on it, I would just like to maybe give a little update on last week, since we're talking about rumors anyway, and you always tell me stuff isn't news and whatever. So,
Yep. That's exactly what I said.
reportedly, Dave Meltzer has confirmed my suspicions regarding Paige and Alberto Del Rio, and he has said that they were separated because of Paige's social media posts. He's quoted as saying, Del Rio's getting in trouble with that stuff, meaning Paige's Instagram and other social media posts, and that's why they're on separate brands.
Did you see Del Rio tonight?
Nope.
There you go.
Did you see Paige last
does that
night?
not
No, you did not.
How does that not just prove my point more?
No,
No, we're not saying that. We're saying that it's...
I think I agreed with you last week.
I don't remember. You disagree so often.
I do disagree. Most of the time, I disagree. There's no doubt about that. Like tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised if Del Rio's at a point in his life where he wants to avoid all that drama, and then he dated someone Paige's age, and just completely thinking that, like, she's real young. Paige is like
22?
yeah,
Something
like
that?
no,
23?
she was 22 when she won the title, so she's like 20.
I thought she was 20. Was she? I don't know.
Yeah, no, she's like 23.
She's young. She's like pretty young.
All right. Renee, with the Smack Talk set that they're starting now on the network after
Yeah, it looks
SmackDown, cool setup. She's at the desk talking with Carmella about Eva Marie on what we just saw, and then Carmella gets interrupted by Natalia because she's like, "You should be interviewing me." Like, I mean, do you know who my uncle is? Where has this been? Like, I'm like, that's the easy heat magnet there. Like, do you know what family I belong to? She could have done this so often for so many years. And it's easy to get booed from that. And Carmella challenges Natalya to a match later on in the night. Vaudevillains, remember them? They were here. I know. Versus American Alpha, to a great ovation, and they delivered as we would expect.
Did they get a great ovation though?
I think honestly they did, especially
People were
when they
excited
were
to see them.
And obviously in these crowds there are still quite a few people in those stands that might have not ever seen them from NXT.
Right.
So,
And
but
they're
they
not-
still got the ovation. They knew who they were. And then when they saw him wrestle, they're like, oh, "Okay, we get it. We get it."
And then you got the Gable chant, and like it was there. We all
I just expected more of a pop when they first came out, but I think anyone who wasn't familiar with them at that point certainly was by the end of the match.
not everyone can be Enzo and Cass and pop the crowd every night. Like
that's true.
everyone is
I
just
miss
excited
those
to
guys
see
so
them.
bad.
Do you not watch Raw?
No, I do.
Oh,
but
yeah. I was like,
You just miss talking about
I
it.
do.
Hair.
Yeah.
Well, you get Carmella.
Yes, and you know what? Carmella she's so fantastic at what she does. She's clearly a little bit nervous still. She sounded better than she did last week. Just need her to take one big breath before she starts talking. she just needs to like lay out a teeny bit, slow it down just a tad. But I think even in just a few weeks, she's gonna be.
I thought tonight.
FABOLOUS.
I thought tonight she was 100 times better than last week, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
And I know that that's not how you spell fabulous. It was a song or whatever.
Okay. We got a recap of the Teen Choice Awards that John Cena was co-hosting. We saw our good friend Kathy Kelly in the video recap, which was awesome. And we also got a shout out for the Bellas, who won the female sports athlete of the year?
Favorite female athlete, yeah.
Which, considering Nikki hasn't wrestled for about 10 months, Brie was around.
yeah.
But that's impressive, especially when you got Serena Williams out there. You got Charlotte. You got the women's national soccer team.
Was Charlotte nominated?
No, Charlotte was.
Probably, they wouldn't have nominated two. Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Misha Tate, any of them. So that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal, and this is what I'm always saying. The Bella Twins will never, ever get the credit that they deserve for just bringing attention to WWE, bringing attention to women's wrestling, making Total Divas a hit. Without them, it maybe would have gone just a couple seasons. Who knows? They're getting their own spinoff. They make a splash with the fans, and I guarantee you there are a lot of young women who would never have known even what professional wrestling was, who went and took the time to vote for them against Ronda Rousey and Serena Williams and the rest. Their audience interest can never, ever be underestimated. People love them, even though a lot of people hate them.
They love to hate them.
A lot of people love them. You have to
hate them.
remember, they're maybe not pro wrestling fans per se, but they are beloved, and they deserve credit for bringing that attention to WWE.
But who'd they beat this year? I'm kidding. Because then you can say Ronda Rousey, Serena Williams, everyone on the Teen Choice Awards.
To that.
AJ Styles calls out Cena. We have a very long promo here.
Yes.
We know we're down south because Cena changed his accent. Because he does that, but he does it so well.
Well, this is a man learning Mandarin, so he can go. So he
Wherever
can do
he
press
goes,
conferences in China.
All of a sudden, he had a little bit of a southern twang to his voice tonight in Tennessee. All of a sudden, next week they'll be in Michigan, and it'll sound completely different. But
Whatever
that's
the
what
Michigan accent is.
But that's why so many people draw him, because everyone always feels like they can relate to him because he's so well educated and so well versed in even these little things, altering your voice a little bit that connects more to that crowd wherever you happen to be. Speaking friggin' Mandarin in a press conference. I mean, he's fantastic with that. So, the main highlights of this promo, AJ was yelling at kids where they pointed to a kid who was wearing a Cena hat and AJ gloves.
And he looked so confused as to how
like,
he was supposed to
who do
respond.
I cheer? I don't know.
I felt bad for him.
And we get a great heartfelt Cena promo at this point, talking about that he loves this. He's a grown ass man, and I'll say I love
Yes.
it. And he also mentioned he plugged himself being on Stephen Colbert Wednesday night, and he's gonna wear an ugly blue suit to plug the brand that he loves on SmackDown. And AJ challenges Cena to a match at SummerSlam. No club, no nothing, just me and you, so I can finally, shut you up. And that's going to happen. I was kind of surprised there's not going to be a gimmick match to it. I figured it'd be a cage or something with it. But it's just going to be another one-on-one match.
Well,
it's going to be great.
To freshen it up a little bit.
Well, because we haven't gotten a resolution yet. Because we got not a dusty ending. We got a straight-up run-in ending in Money in the Bank. Then we got a tag match. Mm-hmm. So that we wouldn't need a gimmick because they're just going to go mano a mano. There's going to be a clean finish. Like, I think that's all we need for those two, is to just, there will be a clean finish. Whether it's Cena or Styles, it'll probably be Cena, but there'll be a clean finish.
So you guys are predicting an end to this feud after SummerSlam?
Well, back off on this feud so you can come back to it at Survivor Series or WrestleMania.
It makes sense. That'd be 3 straight pay-per-views they wrestled that.
Right.
So I can see it being the send-off one. Who knows? But then within a year, they might do it again. Who knows? Fandango versus Randy Orton. this is happening because of what Orton said on at Battleground 2.5 weeks ago. Now he's like, wait a minute. I'm mad at him. Let's wrestle.
Hey, there's been a lot going on in the WWE.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
So, Orton, obviously, in complete control of this match. Security all around the ring. And out comes Lesnar. Just waltzes into the ring past all the security guys. F5's Orton. Walks out.
Yeah, because if any of those security guys got in Lesnar's face and Lesnar beat them down, that security guy should be on the main roster.
Every security guard was fired from the building because they did not do their job.
Aw, sad.
No,
on
they
their
didn't.
WWE debut.
They got fired because they have one job.
You had
one job.
Well, really, they had one job, which was you all need to get beat up by Brock Lesnar. There needs to be a dog pile, and it needs to be like that third Matrix movie with all the Smiths.
But no, yeah, I'm sorry. As dominant as Brock Lesnar is, you have 30 men jump on you. You will not get up if they all did their job and stopped him at once. But no, they're just like, no, you can't go up. No, don't go in the ring. No, well, fine, don't touch Randy. No, put him down. Put him down. No, okay, you gotta leave now. You gotta go. Okay, go. Oh, I hurt my shoulder again.
I actually think it would have been a really funny way to call somebody up. Is if you have all these security guards who won't even get in Brock Lesnar's face, and you have one get in Brock Lesnar's face and just get decked. And then the next week is a dark match, and then the next week, like Shane McMahon, you get a vignette where Shane McMahon's like, I heard you wrestle on the side. Thank you for doing some security work. Thank you for being the only person to stand up to Brock Lesnar. Like, that could be a way to just call somebody up.
That only happened
Never in a million
Never
years,
gonna
but
happen.
that would be great.
Dan O'Brien's on the phone. Heath Slater shows up. Again, wanting to get signed.
Oh, and I thought maybe he was on the phone with Brie. Like, it was going to be a cute moment where he's like, no, honey, I'm just taking care of stuff. I'll be home in a sec.
I think you said
I'll be
that.
home in a second.
I think you said this.
They
but
fly planes.
I think you said this. Daniel Bryan must hate this. We talked about this at the Tough Enough panel as well.
Yeah.
That anything that isn't just him wrestling, he must, at some level, just hate.
Or that it's at least incredibly difficult for him.
Because he's
Well,
just
it's a whole
like, no,
different role. It's a whole different role for him. So it's going to take time to adapt to it. Mm-hmm. Slater wants a contract. Bryan tells him if he wins his match next week, he will get a contract. Great. Who am I facing? Gore. Oh, I guess you're facing Rhino. Thanks for randomly showing up in my office, goring him, damaging my furniture probably, and I'll see you next week.
So if Heath Slater wins, does Rhino lose his contract?
That definitely was not mentioned as a stipulation.
No.
I feel like, because Rhino just got this job. He's on like the 90-day.
You think so?
He's on that 90-day trial period. Like he
For
can't
like the
just,
evaluation period?
Yeah, like he can't just win. Like he comes out the first match ever and loses. It's like, what are you here for? You're here to fight Heath Slater?
Yes.
And then lose? So now
Perhaps.
now we got to pay Heath Slater too?
Hey.
Costing this company money in your first.
Makes you want to tune in next week to find out what happens, right?
Agreed.
There it is. Then they won.
Well, I mean, but if Rhino losing next week costs SmackDown an entire additional salary, that's going to come out of Rhino's salary.
We haven't got. I mean, we're getting to like a lot of sports related things. They haven't brought up salary caps yet.
Could they please? Also, I heard. Speaking of some believe that, I heard a rumor in the chat, because I haven't read any headlines yet, that it looks like John Cena's not going to be at Backlash. And if that is the case, I want that Shane McMahon backstage segment of like, John, I'm trying to make Backlash a huge deal. I drafted you to be a part of SmackDown. What are you doing? You're hosting some FX, you're hosting some show on Fox Sports Net. You need to be at Backlash. I would love to see that.
Okay.
And love to see it culminate into a Cena-Shane McMahon match eventually?
No.
We don't want that?
No.
Or a Shane McMahon trades him away to Raw because he doesn't nope, you gotta show up. Like, nope, you gotta show up. I'm gonna get End Zone Cast now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Renee on the booth again with Ambrose, kind of talking about the Ziggler Wyatt match, and what surprised him was that Dolph Ziggler is self-destructing this quickly.
Mm-hmm. Also, Dean Ambrose is a tough interview, but it's funny to see him do that to his own girlfriend.
Well, he did
I
that.
just love when they put them together on camera because it's just cute and funny.
I remember the Hall of Fame red carpet. He was clearly sauced.
That's what
And she
everyone
got
thought,
to-
but I think he was just like giving everybody a hard time. I don't know.
But including her at that carpet, like
Oh, yeah, it
the
was tough.
WWE Network carpet, like he was giving her a hard time. And it's
Yeah.
like, you guys are like in love.
And we know it. Don't
Like
try to hide
IRL,
it.
you guys are in love.
Starting October 5th, we're all going to see it. So drop the act.
Oh.
Oh, well, we'll see if we see it on that. They might even hide that. You don't know.
Is that going to be on the
You don't know, Chrissy. You weren't there.
No, but there's a trailer.
Is there a Dean Ambrose, Renee Young reality show I'm not aware of?
No, Total Divas.
Oh, okay.
Renee's on Total Divas.
They renewed Total Diva? I'm kidding.
I'm surprised too.
I thought they just canceled Total
Kidding.
Divas and then had a Bella
Boys,
show.
Listen, I was going to say, I already had my Bella rant tonight. I don't
You
think
did.
I have time for a Total Divas rant.
No, we don't, because we're running out of time. We got to finish the show. Carmella versus Natalya. Natalya attacks Carmella on her way to the ring. The gear is changing a little
Yes.
bit. It was all black, no pink in it. I still want her to change her hair for some reason. I feel like that will... I don't know why the hair, to me, would solidify her turning heel. I don't know why the change of the hair would do it.
Yeah, no, I see it. I'm with you on this. But the new
The
gear
new
was
gear I
definitely
liked.
an
I liked
improvement.
that, and that helped a lot. Lay it out, Carmella. Starting a little feud there. Cool. I'm good with that. Shane and Daniel Bryan kind of try to talk Ziggler kind of out of, hey, you don't have to put up your main event spot. And Ziggler's like, so now you guys don't believe me either. Screw you. And he walked away. That was that.
Yep.
Then main event, Bray Wyatt versus Dolph Ziggler. Ambrose on commentary. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome match. I got very scared in the first couple minutes for Bray because he went for a Ziggler went for a schoolboy on him. And I don't know if Bray's ankle got caught under him or whatever, but the leg kind of buckled before he rolled in. He was holding and showing it, and he kept going back to it through the match. It wasn't one of those things where, oh, we're working on this body part, and he's kind of selling it. Commentators never mentioned it, so that made me kind of concerned that maybe, I mean, he obviously was still able to go through the match fine, so hopefully it's nothing serious.
Especially
but
for Bray Wyatt. That guy
definitely
has-
looked like he got banged up.
Bray Wyatt has some bad luck with that stuff.
Yeah, he just came back from the calf injury.
Right, and I just always think about like your Nevilles and your Rybacks and guys who say they kept wrestling in the match and just broke it more and broke it worse.
Yep. Love this match. I love the story they're telling in this match.
Yeah.
My prediction is that Ziggler will lose.
Well, don't get that far ahead. We're talking about the match.
Okay, well then I'm just saying.
My prediction was that he was going to lose tonight
I
and lose this
honestly thought
opportunity.
he was going to also.
But I think he's going to ultimately turn heel by Backlash, and he's going to turn heel by turning heel on the fans and saying, "What did you like the classic? What did you guys ever do for me? I'm going to be a winner, and winners turn on the fans."
I could see that.
But he
He
needs
certainly
to.
proved tonight that he could pull something like
But
that
he
off.
needs to lose to make that turn.
And that's where I kind of get a little confused at the end of this match. So Bray is starting to untie the turnbuckle to expose the steel. Ref stops him. They go back and forth a little more. Then Ziggler finishes untying it. Now the steel is exposed. And now normally, you might see someone like accidentally run into it or jump into it.
Right.
All right, that happens. But Ziggler grabbed Bray's head in front of the ref and slammed it into the steel, which would be considered an illegal weapon because he removed padding.
But what would the referee do? The referee didn't see anyone remove the padding.
Yes, he did. He kept telling Bray and Ziggler to stop removing the padding.
No, but he didn't. He kept telling Bray to stop removing the padding.
And Ziggler.
But then he only noticed the padding was gone. Like he never saw someone physically
Yes, he
remove the
did.
padding.
He saw Ziggler remove it and yelled at him about it. And didn't put it back on.
Why didn't he put it back on?
I don't know why he didn't put it back on, but my question is, why did he not disqualify Ziggler?
The only thing I can think of is that because Bray initiated the turnbuckle tie-off.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is they try to consider, oh, it's part of the ring, so it's all legal if it's on the ring. But if that's the case, then you would be seeing people do this a whole lot more often. I mean,
I think maybe this is just a case where the ref was supposed to turn around and he didn't quite get turned around.
Or just and granted they're not telling this story on TV, but because it would be a little bogged down. But what's he going to do? Who would he disqualify? He would have to throw the whole match out because Bray was trying to take off the turnbuckle.
But Ziggler's the one who used it. So I mean, that's a classic thing of
Bray started it.
Bray bringing a chair in the ring. Ziggler hits him with a chair. Ref's going to DQ Ziggler, not Bray.
I think it's a little unclear because that corner spot, they were both trying to throw each other into the corner. So it could just as easily been Bray's disqualification that the referee has no choice but to. They both had a fair shot at this illegal thing.
Well, Chavo right now is saying I'm right. So that makes me feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you gotta. No, it's there.
You gotta check it.
I'm not just saying it.
Sometimes you gotta check these things because
So-
you can just be like Wikipedia
They're
says.
also saying they love the Bellas and Total Divas.
No, they're not saying that.
Nope.
No, not there. Not there.
You can just put words in the chat's mouth.
Yep. So then super kick after he threw Bray into the steel. Ziggler wins, and very happy that he seemed to prove everyone wrong. Out comes Rowan. Remember, he got drafted to SmackDown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was there. Gave a nasty side effect to Ambrose, because Ambrose then jumped in to try to help out as they ganged up on Ziggler. They took out Ambrose, then Bray hit Sister Abigail on Ziggler, and SmackDown ends, even though it's still Ziggler and Ambrose, and Ziggler got to win, Bray's the one standing. So he's not out of this title picture yet, even though he didn't win that match. So I am interested in tuning in next week to see what is going to happen with that. Overall, such a better SmackDown this week.
I will agree with you there. Also, someone in the chat is saying that you're wrong.
That well,
Okay, yes, I do see that.
everyone's
Back it up.
entitled to their
And they're
opinion.
also saying that they do love the Bellas.
Well, because you just mentioned it, so they want to be on your good side.
Well, they are.
So that wraps up SmackDown AfterBuzz for this week, but we want to keep the conversation going on the YouTube page, as well as the various forms of social media. Christy, how can people reach out to you?
Well, I would love it if they would follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Christy Reports with a C. I will be in Las Vegas for Paragon Pro Wrestling and in Portland for West Coast Wrestling Connection this weekend. Please come see me, and you can always check out that action on the Fight TV app.
Steve, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having me.
How
I
can people talk to you?
totally didn't take spark plugs out of Scott Narver's car.
I didn't think you would.
You guys can find me on Twitter almost exclusively. I'm not nearly as demanding as this one. At Steve Kaufmann, that's Kaufmann. My improv team's doing a lot of shows this month. I tweet about them regularly.
All right. And you can follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram, The Real Rosenberg, t-shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg, Facebook, YouTube, Christian Rosenberg. So much Christian Rosenberg stuff.
Yay!
All the
Yay, me. And Jimbo, plug your Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter at TheJimbo/TheJimboSlice. I will also be at Paragon Wrestling on Friday in Vegas. And yeah.
Awesome. So make sure you guys check out that if you're in the area. Thanks so much for tuning in. Ow, my shoulder again. To SmackDown AfterBuzz for Jimbo in the booth, Christy Olson, Steve Kaufmann. I'm Christian Rosenberg. We'll see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.